Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Big E.
And I'm Sweet Tea.
And this is the Big E
and Sweet Tea Show.
Boom, coming at you in this cold Saturday afternoon, morning, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Man, got a lot of exciting news on the Cowboys front. Not exciting because they didn't make the playoffs, but you know, you win some, you lose some, and in our case, being Cowboys fan, you lose a lot.
We're the new Cubs fan. Just wait till next year.
Yeah.
Next year we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl or bust next year. So we're going to talk about, we got some Cowboys news. We got some college football news. So we've got a national championship coming up, and so we're going to kind of look at that and get your picks. We got the NFL playoffs going on. Playoffs. But first, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Be sure and subscribe to our show, like our video, because we want to get our message of hope, and we like to praise Jesus, and then again we like to talk sports. You know what I'm saying? So be sure and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, like our video, and show us some love in the comments. Tell us what you think. We want to, again, we just appreciate you guys for subscribing, those that watch our videos, those that take time to watch our videos. We appreciate you for your support on our channel. It's a new channel, but you know, we hope to, you know, make something of it. So but we're gonna get started today. I've got a verse that really just hits home right now. We've got so much divisiveness in our country. You guys all know what happened this past week with the storming of the Capitol building. Just terrible, terrible stuff. Man, I think and I pray for all the people involved, the families that lost loved ones from that. We want to say we're sorry and extend our condolences to those families. But in times like this, we learn things. We learn things, and one of the things that, you know, I have got from all of this is you cannot put your trust in man.
Nope.
You cannot put your trust in man. You can't put your trust in government. You can't put your trust in any human being, but you can put your trust in God.
That's right. And
the scripture that I want to go over today comes out of Jeremiah 29:11. That says, "For I know the plans I have for you." God's talking to his people. He knows the plans. God knows everything. He's all knowing. And for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. So we have hope in God. We have hope in Jesus. That is our hope. That is our ultimate hope in life, is Jesus Christ. And when we're not living for him, when we're actually going against him, because if you're not living for him, what are you doing? You're going against him. You're going against them. You're going against the grain. So, therefore, man, I just want to encourage you guys today about, if you're not living for Christ, if you're not living for God, then you're going against him. And what that does, it separates you from God, and that there goes your hope. So if you're hopeless, you know why? Because you're not living for Christ. You're not putting Christ first and foremost in your life. What do you got, Sweet Tea?
Well, like you said, it's really divided, and you nailed it. Is what we're putting our faith and trust in. Our country, we're putting our faith and trust in government, and government's not the answer. Now, they're there for a reason. God has instituted governments. They're there for a reason, okay? But they're not our God, and we put way too much faith in them, and we pay way too much trust. Now they're all crooked. That's why we need to lean on God, stand up for what's right. Christians are now the time, more than ever, to stand up for Jesus, okay? Our country is so unstable. We need a firm foundation, a rock to stand on. and that rock is Jesus Christ, and He won't lead you, He won't desert you, He won't forsake you. Some people put hope in government, some people put, and I'm going to go a little further with alcohol, some people put their faith and trust in drugs, some people put their faith and trust in those substances, and all that is a mini God. When you take alcohol, drugs, and all that, it's just another type of God that is basically you're putting that before God, and He doesn't like that. Mm. But I know it also is hard to get out of that. But I'm asking and begging in our country, if you have an alcohol, drug problem, man, get some help. Big Eating Sweet Tea will help. We love you too much, but our faith solely relies on God, and that's through Jesus Christ, His Son. Not anything we said, any mumble jumble we brought up, but our faith in Him. And man, I just think it's a time to reap the harvest, brother. And I think it's a good opportunity for the church to stand. And man, I really think we could take over. Not as far as army-wise, but man, just love, compassion, and truth. We could I just see a harvest white ready to be reaped. And man, let's stand up and get it.
Yeah, man, that's good.
Sorry, I'm a little wound up today, y'all, but God is always good, brother.
That's good stuff right there. Woo! I got chill bumps, brother. Woo. Yeah. I'm like going to church up here. Yeah, that was good stuff, man. And that's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head that we put our faith and trust in things yes. of this world. Mm. When you put, because who's the God of this world? Satan. Satan is the God of this world, the little g, if you will. And if we put our trust and faith in those things, then we end up falling flat on our face. Oh. And woe is me. Well, I mean, we just, we kind of play the fiddle card a little bit. You want the cheese with that wine. You know what I'm saying? And you just kind of feel helpless and you feel sorry for yourself. And when it doesn't matter your situation or your circumstances, God's always going to provide a way out. Yep. God's always.
And there's help, but like I said, you got to reach out to God, and He'll supply the help. But just sitting there not doing anything when you're in trouble doesn't help. You have to get up. A lot of times, if you just start praying, God help me, God will send something somewhere along the line. I've seen it myself. And help. And it will help you bring out of that. Alcohol and drugs and anything really are hard to overcome.
Yes.
And we need the Lord.
Yes.
And we have to have Him. But you can, and we can, and I encourage you all and love you all. And
we got Kurt Franklin up in here, man. Come on, brother. Preach it. I'm ready. Woo! Yes, I'm fired up now too.
Yes, I mean, we can do it. Roll up the sleeves. I mean, we can do it.
We can do
through
it
God.
Through God.
We can't do it on our own.
No. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says that beautifully. Don't lean on our own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will deliver your path. He will make your path known. So yes, trust in God, and He will make that pathway known. He will put that person in your life to lift you up and encourage you if you put your faith and trust in Him. Ooh. I mean, He's going to put those people, He's going to put the right people in your path to help you get out of the mess, out of the brokenness that you are in. And man, you have no idea the plan and the purpose God has for you. Yes. But when you start living for Him, He makes that pathway known.
That's right.
He does. Man, good stuff.
And, well, I've just seen it personally. Some people overcome that, and it just gets me fired up. And God is good. And it may not be easy. Man, stretch your faith.
Ask Jonah, right, in Job. It's not going to be easy.
Not going to be easy.
But I guarantee you, in the end, when you're standing in the gateway and in the arms of Jesus, man.
Well done, my good and faithful servant.
Woo! Yes.
Done.
Yeah. All right, man.
Anyway,
how can you follow that? I don't know. But right now we got some. we're going to talk some Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, America's team, brother.
America's team.
All
right. So number one, Cowboys have fired their defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan.
I don't want nobody losing their job, but When you're substandard, you have to do, you know, that's just part of life, isn't it, brother?
What's a business?
Business.
Any business, if you're not performing in your business, and especially for your Dallas Cowboy fans, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to perform. You gotta put the people in the right position. And man, it was just, they finally put Donovan Wilson in there at safety after Darian Thompson just kept screwing it up. So to me, the Cowboys, and especially the defensive coaches, were a little bit slow in getting the right people in the right places. I have to say that. But they also fire defensive line coach Jim Tomsula. Now this kind of hurts Mike McCarthy. These were Mike McCarthy guys. Now Mike McCarthy had sole ownership of putting together his team, his coaches, his coaching staff. So this kind of falls, you know, Mike Nolan was a friend of Mike McCarthy. So was Jim Tomsula. They all coached together. And man, this pains me to say that Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys are interviewing another one of Mike McCarthy's buddies. And that is, they're interviewing Joe Witt Jr. Now, Joe Witt Jr. was the defensive backs coach for Atlanta Falcons. Oh my God, they were the worst secondary in the NFL this year. So I'm sorry, I'm just not putting, just like we said, put your faith in God. Don't put your faith in the Dallas Cowboys. or the people who are making decisions.
Yes.
Why? This guy was the defensive backs coach of the last place secondary of the entire NFL, 32nd in the league. Why? I mean, they haven't hired him yet, okay? Now, they haven't hired him yet, but man, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Again, you have some pretty good candidates for defensive coordinator. Now, let's see. One of them is Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis, who was the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, but before that, he was defensive coordinator for your Ray Lewis-led Baltimore Ravens defense.
That sounds like a defense right there, man. Defensive mind right there, brother.
Of course, you had Ed Reed and you had
you had some talent.
Yes, you definitely had some talent, but man, you know, Marvin Lewis is available. Wade Phillips would be another good one to consider. I mean, a defensive-minded. Now, Wade Phillips used to be the head coach of the Cowboys. I get, you know, not really looking at that, but I mean, you got Dan Quinn, who was the former Falcons coach, but is a great defensive mind. You have Matt Patricia out there, who was the defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots in those Super Bowl winning defenses. You have Raheem Morris. I don't really agree with that, but you know, Gus Bradley, Chris Richard, who was the defensive backs coach. You know, I think it was a few years ago. But again, I like Marvin Lewis. If you can convince Marvin Lewis to come back into coaching, man, that would be a good hire right there.
That would be. I agree with that one, brother.
That's my candidate.
Maybe they'll see our episode and
who knows?
Yeah, but sometimes
I'm not putting my faith in that.
Oh, well, so, we thought. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's Cowboys. We've got the draft coming up. Cowboys have the number 10 pick in the NFL draft. So that's something to look forward to. We need defense.
Defense. Definitely need defense.
Definitely need defense. And you have the looming question of what's going to happen with Dak. Is he going to walk? Is he going to take a long-term contract? Is he going to try to get the franchise tag again? Which if you get the franchise tag, you're going to pay him $37.7 million in 1 year. So Cowboys could have avoided this if they would have just signed him 2 years ago to a $35 million contract, or even a $34, $32 million contract. But Cowboys, you missed the boat, guys. Sorry about your luck.
Oh.
So what do you got? What do you got for me, Tone?
Kind of went blank there for a second, brother. I'm thinking heavily on playoff football today. I know the is it Buffalo and the Colts are playing right now?
Buffalo
Who's winning right now, brother?
Buffalo is winning currently. It was 17-10 last time I checked.
But as far as the Cowboys, like Wade Phillips, he's kind of old though, but he's always a defensive mind. Not necessarily a good head coach, but he always had brought good defenses to the table. And I just hope Dallas reaches out to somebody instead of the Atlanta man. I mean,
yeah, I just don't think Joe Witt Jr. is.
That don't even sound tough. No defense, but that Joe Witt Jr. that sounds like a referee.
Yeah, you don't. I don't know. I just think if you're in charge of the secondary, who is the bottom of the barrel in passing, as far as the Atlanta Falcons go, I just think you need to look other places. I think you need to reach out to these defensive-minded coaches like a Matt Patricia, a Marvin Lewis, a Dan Quinn, possibly, and just kind of reach out to these guys. And I get it. You want people that you know on your staff. I get that. It's not what you know; it's who you know. I get that. That's kind of the way we react nowadays. But at the same time, I mean, come on. Their stats and their
realities,
pedigree, realities. You can't ignore that.
No.
So come on, Cowboys.
Come on, Cowboys.
We need to.
America's team, baby.
All right, so we got the number 10 draft pick in the upcoming 2021 draft in April. What would you do? What would you do with that pick? So you guys tell us what do you think about who do you think should be the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys? Reach out to us and tell us what you think, or who should the Cowboys pick in this coming draft? Should they go defense? If there's an offensive tackle available, do you do that? You take the best player available? Do you take a linebacker? Do you take a defensive back? I would go defensive back.
I agree. It seemed like our offensive line got a little continuity towards the end when they were all healthy and we're all starting to work better. You've seen a little bit of improvement. So I think that might not necessarily be the weakest point. Not saying it's not. Like if you get a good defensive or offensive tackle or something in the draft and it's just too good to be true, go ahead and scoop him up. But man, I would go defensive back.
I would almost go defense the first two rounds, and maybe a third round offensive tackle.
I agree, 100%.
Offensive tackle, or if you have a really good depth offensive tackle in the second round, maybe look at doing. But I think first round, either linebacker, if Micah Parsons, who's Penn State's linebacker, if Micah Parsons available, that may be, or if you have Patrick Surtain, who's the cornerback from Alabama, or I think it's Caleb Farley, the defensive back from Virginia Tech, I believe. So those you need a good secondary. Now the Cowboys had the 31st ranked run defense. So if you have a big defensive tackle, a game-changing defensive tackle, maybe with that, but we need defense. That's the common goal, the common stance in this off season is we need defense.
Hopefully, something that can have an instant impact also. Who come in and whoever new defensive coordinator has a good system. They just jump right in there and we just start dominating like we know we can.
Right. I think Trevon Diggs was a good pickup last year in the second round.
The person that impressed me the most, I guess, was number 37, Wilson.
Donovan Wilson.
And he would lay the wood to somebody. He reminded me of old James Washington back in the day. And I hope they keep. I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot about him or in the situation, but he really impressed me as far as just hitting. As far as being a scared wide receiver,
absolutely, and kind of a ball hawk too. He was kind of around the ball.
Yep.
A lot of times had a big interception in the game against the Giants.
Yep.
But 6-10 Cowboys, when you're a Dallas Cowboy, America's team, you expect more.
Yeah.
And Mike McCarthy has to realize that, and maybe they're just doing their due diligence with this Joe Witt Jr. I hope so. I hope that's all it is. Go get you a Marvin Lewis. Go get you a Matt Patricia. Go get you a Dan Quinn. Come on, please. So defense. Tell us what you think. And then the next question: who do you have? We're starting this super wild card weekend where there's 6 games in 2 days. I think that's pretty exciting. That's a lot of football. And that's exciting. When you have football on TV, I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So who do you have? Sweet Tea, who is your pick to be in the Super Bowl?
AFC, Kansas City. NFC, I'm floating between Green Bay and Tampa Bay. Both have good experience.
Can't root against the GOAT.
Tom Brady, when he comes in the playoffs, he's just something different about him. And but just roughly looking, I say Green Bay, but I won't count out him. Yeah. I really don't. I would like to. I think Seattle might make a run, but I think it's going to be Tampa Bay or Green Bay myself.
I agree with that. I have Kansas City and Green Bay. I think Green Bay is playing really good football towards the end of the season. You know, the ageless wonder in Aaron Rodgers. As much as I don't like the guy,
he's good.
Give credit to where credit is due. Aaron Rodgers is playing lights out right now. I mean, and they have the thing about Green Bay, which usually does not happen. They have a really good offensive line. They've had an offensive line that is for the most part stayed healthy this year and given Aaron Rodgers time to throw. When you give Aaron Rodgers time to throw, he'll pick you apart. So I just think Green Bay. Devontae Adams is one of the best receivers in the NFL right now, and Aaron Jones. They're clicking. Their defense is okay. It's kind of mediocre. Been mediocre this year, but I just think Green Bay's playing too well right now. Now they have a week off, so we'll see if there's any rustiness or anything like that. Tampa Bay may, which I fully expect Tampa Bay to beat your Washington football team, the no-name team that won the NFC least. And
I don't see necessarily who can beat Kansas City, but that's why you play the game, brother. There's always you play to win the game.
Herm Edwards.
Yeah, right. And I think the Super Bowl's gonna be good this year.
I got Kansas City and Green Bay. I think Kansas City. My gosh, they have such a dynamic team.
Yep.
Their offense is
they
loaded.
gel together.
They're loaded.
They work together good.
Le'Veon Bell coming up, he's kind of come into his own there at Kansas City, kind of showing some flashbacks of his Pittsburgh style running. Man, he's just the way Le'Veon Bell runs. He's so patient at the line of scrimmage, and he just waits. And once that hole opens up, man, he's like the Road Runner or something on Looney Tunes, and he's just boom, he's hitting it. And so he's a very patient runner.
And just when you think you got Kansas City beat, they find a way to win.
Absolutely. You saw with Tennessee last year when Tennessee jumped ahead by 2 touchdowns. And you know what? That was it. Patrick Mahomes did what Patrick Mahomes does in taking over a game. Yeah.
He
definitely wins. So tell us what you think. Tell us who is your Super Bowl pick and who is your Super Bowl champion. So, man, I think it's going to be a good playoffs, even though the Cowboys aren't in it. I accept that, and maybe next year we can get in the playoffs. That's 2 years in a row the Cowboys have not made it to the playoffs. So come on. Oh, by the way, I do have a little bit of other news. This happened, I think, last week or this past week. Kellen Moore signed a 3-year deal to stay the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not sure what I like Kellen Moore. I think he's a good offensive mind. I think having a healthy Dak, possibly a healthy offensive line, maybe a healthy Zeke if Zeke doesn't get traded in the offseason, that's a possibility. If somebody's going to take on that contract, that's a whole nother episode, another story right there. We could go forever into that. But some good stuff happening, I think, with the Cowboys. I think if they get the right guy in the defensive coordinator spot, I think they will be better next year as far as defensively. But they've got to learn to stop the run. Giving up 300 yards rushing a game, almost 200 yards rushing.
When you get to, like, against the Giants, Saquon Barkley was injured, and that, I can't even remember who the running back was, but he ran all over us.
Gallman,
Something like that.
was his name, and yeah, he
was like that show. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. So, what do you guys think? Who should the Cowboys draft? What position should the Cowboys draft? Who is your Super Bowl picks? Go ahead and get them in. And guys, don't forget, man, we want you to subscribe to our channel. If we get 50 subscribers, we're going to give away a $50 gift card. So, and then we'll do it per 50 subscribers. So if we get 100, we'll give away a $100 gift card. So just continue to subscribe. We're up to 33 subscribers now. So those of you that have subscribed to our channel, thank you very much. We appreciate all your support for us. We're just two guys who love talking about the love of Jesus and talking about sports. We love talking about sports. But just real quick, Mavs played. We Dallas Maverick fan right here, Luca. They played Denver on Thursday night, won in overtime. Very exciting game. Luca put up 30 plus points and doing what Luca does.
They're already talking about. Of course, it's way too early, but MVP for the season, which could be. But I still think we need one more piece, brother, for Mavericks to.
But we still don't have Porzingis back.
That's right.
Porzingis will come back hopefully this week, but if not this week, he should be back next week. So hopefully we get Porzingis back. Man, we get rolling. The Mavs play, I believe, the Magic tonight at 7:30. So you guys tune into that. College basketball, Texas Longhorns just defeated the West Virginia Mountaineers by 2 points on a last second three-pointer.
They're playing good. I'm not a big Longhorn fan. They're doing good.
Number 4 in the country.
Hey, you guys got a new head football coach.
We do. Texas has fired Tom Herman, and I wasn't expecting this year, but I was expecting possibly next year.
He didn't get it done.
Steve Sarkisian, which is the Alabama offensive coordinator, will take over head coaching the position. But hey, Alabama and Ohio State coming this coming Monday.
Who's going to win that?
Who do you think? Who do you got? Ohio State or Alabama? I'm going to go with Ohio State. I think Justin Fields, man, just tore up the Clemson defense.
Like nothing.
I mean, it was no contest.
Of course, when you play half games of the season, you're pretty well rested and stuff too.
Yeah.
So you got to get. You're not as banged up as the other team. But anyway, I'll go there. But
I would say Ohio State over Alabama. I
don't like Alabama. I don't like either.
I'm not a Nick Saban fan.
No.
I am not a Nick Saban fan. I'm sure he doesn't care. He's sitting there counting his millions right now. So
looking at his trophies.
Yeah, looking at all his national championship trophies.
And rings.
But who do you got? Ohio State or Alabama? It's going to be a tough one. I think it's a toss-up. I think either team can win.
I'm
either
pulling
team.
for Ohio State.
I am pulling for Ohio State. I like their coach, Ryan Day. Ryan Day's, I kind of like him. He's not your typical Ohio State coach, but I mean I like him. I like him, and he's got his team in the national championship. So doing something right. So who do you got national champion? Leave us some comments. Tell us what you think. If you have a prayer request or anything that you just want to mention, feel free to reach out to us and
reach out.
comment. Show us some love, guys.
Show us some love.
But before that, like this video and subscribe to our channel. Remember, $50 gift card if we get 50 subscribers.
That's like $50 McChicken sandwiches.
Hey,
Well, they're probably tagged, so you probably 47
and a half. throw a halfsies there. Come on, guys. Show us some love.
Yes.
Like, subscribe. Stay tuned to our channel, and we got big things coming. We're excited of where God is going to take this show, and we're excited about what He's going to do this year, 2021. This is our first show of the year. So pretty exciting stuff.
2020 is done. We got a vaccine. I know there's COVID stuff still on, so stay safe, everybody. Love your neighbor, brother. Love your neighbor.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Amen. Amen. That's good stuff. It's a good show, Sweet Tea.
Was.
I'm Big E.
And I'm Sweet Tea.
And this is the Big E and
That's
Sweet
Sweet
Tea
Tea
Show.